give you keywords and tags, and they also have various, I think it's 3 shows, live shows that they do during the week that you can catch them. They give you tips. So after I post this, I will put the description to vidIQ's app, so you can get that app for yourself. It would be my unique link that you get to sign up with vidIQ. So I'm excited about that. Our guest today, and I am waiting for him to come on, and then I will bring him up, will be Billy Blanks Jr. Hello, everyone that's joining. It's so exciting to see everyone. And I can start by reading his bio, and then hopefully I will see that he's on, and I can invite him. So yes, thank you, Courage Giver. Yes, that is awesome indeed. So absolutely, make sure that you click the link if you do have a YouTube channel that you want to grow. They're the ones, that's the app that I've used to grow my YouTube channel to almost 7,000 subscribers. So make sure you click the link after I put this on. Thank you, thank you. So to my guest today, Billy Blanks Jr. Let's see here, I don't see him on here yet. So I will start by reading his bio, and hopefully I will see him pop up. So he is self-taught and working professionally from his youth. Billy Blanks Jr. has gained much exposure and experience in the world of dance and entertainment. As a young teen, he choreographed school musicals and created after-school dance groups. As Billy's notoriety grew, he earned roles as a dancer in music videos with Paula Abdul, Madonna, Celine Dion, Crystal Method, to name a few. His credits include TV appearances on Dr. Oz, Meredith Vieira, The Ellen Show, Home and Family, American Dreams with Alicia Keys, The Practice, Sister Sister, Kids Incorporated, Homeboys from Outer Space. There he is. I will bring him on. Let's see here. All right. So while he's coming on, Homeboys from Outer Space, My Cousin Skeeter. Hello. I'm reading your bio right now. So,
I heard it. I was like, oh my gosh.
So get situated while I finish reading your bio.
All right.
And The Tonight Show, Billy starred as Tyrone Jackson in the U.S. and European touring companies of the Broadway musical Fame. He went on to direct and choreograph the We Sparkle Take Two celebrity concert with Tom Hanks, Jason Alexander, and a whole bunch of other people that are famous. And also, he also choreographed the end sequence for the movie I Hope You Dance. Billy made his directorial debut in New York City at Madison Square Garden, directing One Night with the Stars, starring Broadway legends Betty Buckley, Lainey Kazan, Telly, a whole lot of people. A whole lot of people.
Oh.
And Fran Drescher, to name a few. And Billy was the artistic director of the newly renovated historical Wall Street Theater in Norwalk, Connecticut. Over time, Billy has become the face of the new generation of fitness with his revolutionary dance program, Dance It Out. And we're going to find out about that today. He made history on the hit TV show Shark Tank after turning down a deal proposed by Mark Cuban and Damon John, when the latter shark left the tank and talked Billy into taking the deal. The result was his business, Dance It Out, becoming the fastest growing fitness-based dance program in America. Yes, and my sisters also. My sisters Kukwa dance. So yes, in America. And let's see here. Okay, so Billy is, let's see here. It's also now a hit lifestyle talk show on the Lifetime Network. And then Billy is the son of Tybo creator Billy Blanks In October 2015, Billy Blanks Jr. launched the MoveTube Network, where he produces and directs feel-good workouts, motivational content, and other inspirational videos featuring today's hottest dancers and celebrities. Billy is the creative director at viral YouTube channel Talent Recap in Brooklyn, New York. His son, Elijah Wayne Blanks, sorry, let me say that again. I gotta give it the proper respect here. His son, Elijah Wayne Blanks, is his biggest accomplishment. All right. Woo! I'm exhausted after that.
That was
After that bio. So, Billy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, excellent. Excellent. Yes, I can hear you.
Great.
I can hear you. Great. So today I want to ask you a few questions, and then if you're in the audience or in the chat and you would like to ask Billy questions, put that in that question mark so that I can pull it up on screen and we can all see it and he will answer it. So good to see you, Billy. Thank you for graciously coming on here
Absolutely.
to be interviewed. It is my pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me on. And I appreciate you reaching out. This is great.
Yes, and thank you for accepting when I reached out. So I am not shy about getting a hold of people. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said, that's good. That's what you're supposed to do. Reach out, you know?
Yes. So you probably looked at that and go, what's this crazy woman with the video DM asking me to... I've never even heard of her. But I'm so thankful that you said yes.
Absolutely. I saw your page and you have some great stuff on there. So absolutely. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. Yes. So my first question is that I noticed you have a fun-loving, playful side to you. Tell us who Billy Blanks Jr. is. What led you to your profession?
Wow. So I would say, in short, I'm a person who, I've had a crazy life. So I think the biggest thing for me is I want to have joy in my life. And so I always try to have fun. It's a big part of everything that I do, from the fitness stuff that I do to even being here at the channel Talent Recap. I always try to do stuff that makes people smile, laugh, feel good. Because I know life could be hard, and I know we all go through like ups and downs, and it's always important to smile. And so basically everything I've ever really done has come from a place of just wanting people to feel better. Even my fitness program, I want people to lose weight and be healthy, but I want them to feel good, most importantly. So it's kind of what I base everything off of that I do, is just trying to feel good, even through the hard times.
Yes. Awesome. So that's amazing. I will ask you a little bit more about that later. So a few years ago, you got a deal through Shark Tank, right? And that was with Damon John. So first of all, describe what it's like to appear on Shark Tank. Just tell us how it is.
Okay, so it's so funny. So everybody always asks this. First of all, Shark Tank is 100% real. So people always are like, is it real? Is it staged? It's not staged at all. The show changed my life, but what I can say is I've done TV my whole life, so I normally don't get nervous to do TV. And I wasn't nervous to do Shark Tank, but the way that they do it changes the game. So basically, when you go in, you're not allowed to be with anybody that you know, so they kind of separate everybody. You're in this like room that has black curtains and you're all by yourself. And, and I wasn't nervous still. I practiced, I was ready. And when I finally got to go on, they're like, you're gonna walk down the long hallway and the doors are gonna open and it'll just be the chairs. No sharks will be there. And they're like, we want you to practice your pitch. You have, I think it was like 30 seconds to a minute to do your pitch, and then they start asking questions and then it goes. And I practiced 3 or 4 times, the doors going down the hallway, still not nervous, so I was fine. And then they're like, this next time, you're gonna go down that hallway, the sharks are gonna be in the chairs, and now you're gonna begin your pitch. And so then I was like, oh gosh, instantly you start getting nerves. But what they don't tell you is when you practice, they have you wait on this little X once you get through the door, and they tell you don't start until we tell you to start. It's called the stare down. So you're supposed to walk in, you walk down, and then you look at the sharks, and you stare, and they stare at you. And when you practice it, you only practice it for like 10 minutes. And so So on the actual show, they were like, go. I walked through, the doors open, and I was like, there are the sharks. And it's crazy because when you watch something on TV and then all of a sudden you're in it, it's like you transported this thing and you're inside the TV. You're like, what is happening? And so they're all there and they're staring at me. And so I decided I'm going to look at each one of them in their eyes because I want them to see who I am. I want to see who they are. And so I do. I look down the line at each shark, Damon, John, Mark, Cuban, each one in their eyes. And then I'm ready to talk because in my head I've remembered my speech, and they're like, hold, keep staring. So I was like, and they do that. I think I probably stared. It felt like it was like 3 minutes, but it was at least a minute long of just staring at one another. So I went from not being nervous to all of a sudden like, oh, super nervous. So it was a crazy experience. It changed my life. You know what I mean? I ended up saying no, but I made history because Damon left to come and get me, and tell me to take the deal and stuff. And the show changed my life. It was an incredible experience.
Excellent, excellent. Yes, that is awesome. And I've heard people say that it's so nerve-wracking to get in there and the sharks are there, and then you've rehearsed everything, and then you get there and blank, or you're freaking out, right?
You have to imagine who don't do TV or don't do interviews like you're doing right now, and all of a sudden you have cameras on you, you have sharks staring at you. It's a nerve-wracking thing that you have to learn. Like, I know how to get my nerves in check. So once I realized I was getting nervous, I was like, focus, you're gonna ruin this, you know, and I got them in check. But it is something that if you're not prepared, they will attack you. It's like literally bloodthirsty sharks and you're in the water and you're bleeding.
So is Mr. Wonderful in person? Is he nice?
Yeah, I love Shark Tank. I love everybody over there. And the one thing that I can say is he was so nice to me. I couldn't wait for everybody to see what he said to me because I was like, he's my favorite. He was so nice. And actually cut out everything that he said. So on my episode, he's just like, no. And I'm like, no, that's not what he did. But they are master editors. They know what characters play what. And so if he's known as the bad guy, they're not pretty much going to show anything that he says unless it's kind of like snarky or bad. And so he was really genuinely nice.
Yes, I figured he is, you know, I've been in a room with him and on Clubhouse, and he's just a genuine guy. So,
right.
All right. So I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said, yeah, he really is. He's nice.
Yes, absolutely. So my next question is, tell us how the deal changed your brand, Dance It Out. And then a second part to that is, how is it going? So how did the deal change your brand, Dance It Out?
Yes. Shark Tank changed my brand because it actually gave me, a lot of people think when you're on the show that instantly you leave the show and then you're a millionaire, you're rich, it's all done. It actually made me focus and really learn what were the important aspects of my business. Once you finish the show, then it's kind of when the work really begins, you know? And so it was something that like you get on, you get the money, then you move forward, and then it's kind of like, now what's your plan? You know what I mean? And you have a plan before, but the plan's kind of changed a little bit once you've gone on a show like this. And so I can say for me, it only made the work begin and kind of clear the path of what the road was. And for me, it was so great because I partnered with Mark Cuban and Damon John for my deal. And Mark was the one who was more instrumental of helping me. And there was so much that I learned from him. And I can say that in the beginning, you know, it's something that you finish the show and you kind of like, what is this going to be? And it actually is when the work begins. And so Dance It Out, great, Dance It Out now. We have over 1,000 instructors that are in Japan, Germany, Mexico, Taiwan, here in America. And then from there, we're still growing. You know, every year I grow bigger and bigger with Dance It Out because it's something that I'll never stop. Dance It Out is a program I created to help change lives and make people feel better. And it's something that if I was making $1 or $1 million, I would still do it because I genuinely see the changes and what it does for people. I always tell a silly story before Shark Tank. What made me go on Shark Tank was I was homeless at the time with my ex-wife and my son, and was really teaching this class and seeing it change people's lives, but wasn't making a lot of money from it. And so for me, I got to the place where I was like, I have to pay my bills, I gotta take care of my son. And I remember going into my last class and going, I'm gonna quit today, but they don't know I'm gonna quit because I just can't keep doing this. I gotta get a real job. And I walked in and I taught the class, and it was a great class, about 110, 20 people in the class. And the whole time I'm teaching it, I'm like, they don't realize this is it for me. because I can't keep doing this. And I finished the class, and as I'm packing up my stuff, I turn around, there's a group of people behind me and my ex-wife, and this one woman was like, I just want to say, please never stop teaching this class. And I was just like, and she pulls up her sleeve, and she has these deep scars in her arm, and she's like, I'm a cutter. And she said, this class makes me not do this. And instantly I just start crying. And then there's people all around the room that are like, and I'm going through a divorce, and Dance It Out makes me feel better, and I'm going through cancer, and all these different things. And it let me know on that day why it was so important for me to continue doing what I was doing. So that's when I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I've got to find a way to fight through this. And then I went on Shark Tank.
That's an amazing story. Amazing story. And when you do have a product like that, a dance workout that just ministers to people like that, it's got to make you feel good. I mean, you touched me as you were talking about that the lady that was a cutter, and you know, you're reaching people. And so what else, what better way to have a job that you love, but then also ministers to people and reaches people at their very core. So that's awesome. Let me reiterate. I'm sorry, I missed that.
Happy to be able to do it. Like, I never take it for granted to be paid to do what I love to do, and then to see people's lives change, and then to train other teachers to do what I'm doing and watch them change lives. Like, I'm always just grateful. I'm just grateful.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And if there's a way you could get closer to your mic, Billy, that would be awesome.
Oh yes. I don't know if maybe it's because it's there. Can you hear me better now? A little better?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. That's what happens with lives. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Oh, what an amazing story. The next thing I want to say is the next question I wanted to ask was, so how's it going now?
It's going great. So right now, we're getting, obviously COVID slowed everybody down. So that was one of the things. So I transitioned everything to online, and now my new app, Dance It Out app, is out in stores. It's on iTunes and in the Apple Store, all that stuff like that. And so right now I'm teaching those classes on the app. I still do teach some classes at Equinox, a few different clubs around the East Coast where I'm at. And I have teachers that are teaching everywhere. So right now it's still going, and starting in February, we'll start doing a tour to continue spreading Dance It Out around the world. I'm going to start traveling to different states and countries and stuff like that to keep it going. And one
awesome.
No, I don't know. I think you mentioned it in the bio, but another dream of mine was always to have my own TV show. I had this dream and idea of having like a talk show, but getting people to move into dance. And when I was younger, I was pitching the show, people were like, what? This is way before your time. It wasn't something that fit at the time. And last year I got to film the show and create the show with dear friends of mine called Dance It Out on the Lifetime Network. And it was pretty awesome getting it, in motion.
Yes. When is it coming out?
So the first season aired just as COVID was starting. And so that's now on Stream Moco, which is a streaming platform. And then we hopefully will be starting the next season, I pray, this summer. So we'll see.
Okay, awesome. And please, if you're in the chat, put your questions where the question mark is so I don't miss it, because at the end of all the questions that I give Billy, I am going to pull up your questions so that we can answer them. So please click on the question mark and put your questions there, because I don't want to miss any at all. Even if it's just a statement that you want to make, put it in the question mark and I'll be sure to pull it up. All right, so Billy, my next question is, weight loss and maintaining a healthy body comes mainly from what we eat.
Yep.
Would you share some of your meal choices with us?
Oh yeah. So one of the things I know for me, when I'm in my best shape, is when I meal prep. And that is the thing, because I have a busy lifestyle. I know a lot of people, what happens to people is people get tired and they got to cook something and they want to make something that's easy, or they just want to get takeout food. And so I know for me, I'll meal prep, and I always do obviously a protein, which is like for me, chicken breast, or I could say whether it's a fish. I'm really not big on fish, but I do shrimp, but just something lean. Sometimes I do a lean pork even. Then I always do rice. I do a starch, which is like rice or potatoes. And from there, I always do a veggie. You know what I mean? And I get, if you get those little meal prep things that are kind of sized out already, it makes it easy for you to do that. And I do that pretty much when I'm trying to be in the best shape. is always having kind of like a basic meal like that. And I'm very picky. I don't like to have the same thing. Like when you meal prep, sometimes you get stuck with the fact that you're like, oh, now I gotta have chicken every day. And that's not what I like to do. So for me, I'll meal prep like some chicken dishes, and then I'll make some like rice pasta, which is another great thing for people. It doesn't taste different. Everybody always thinks like, I don't want rice pasta. It doesn't taste different, and it doesn't have all the carbs that regular pasta has. And so those are definite things that I do when I'm doing meal prepping and trying to eat healthier, because it is, people don't realize you can work out like crazy, but if you don't fix your diet, it's not going to give you, the weight loss that you want.
Yes, yes, you're definitely speaking my language. So absolutely, thank you for that. Because not people are of the mindset that, oh, if I need to meal prep, it's the same meal over and over. That is so boring. And so I'm glad that you said that. And that would give someone that would be the impetus that'll take them to making something else and mixing it up, and make sure that what you eat should be exciting. It shouldn't be something boring, and so that you can keep up with it. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Right, my next question is, what tips would you give to anyone listening who desires to start making healthy choices and working out?
I would just tell them to start easy and don't be hard on yourself. I think a lot of times people want to start a program and if they mess up or they get off of it, then they're like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to quit. You know what I mean? And for me, I always feel like it's better to start something, start small, keep adding to it, and use each step as a win. Because a lot of times people feel like if they make one mistake, then it's like, oh, I got to start over, or I'll wait till next time, or I'll wait till the new year. And I think that's the hardest thing. It gives yourself.
Oh. Uh-oh. Billy, I don't know if it's my end or your end that's buffering, but you're frozen. So, okay. So it must have been his end. So he'll be back, I'm sure. I'll see him and pull him back up. But keep putting your questions in the question box so that I can go ahead and pull it up at the end so that we can answer your questions as well. So yes, there was some buffering going on, so he had to jump off. I think he lost connection. And so I'm sure he'll be back, and we'll bring him back on, and hopefully it's a better connection this time. All right, we lost you.
Yeah, so funny. Somebody started calling my phone, and I was like, "What?" And I couldn't turn it off.
Yeah, oh, that was why it was buffering, because it was buffering. You were frozen, and it was buffering, and then we lost you. So, yeah, but it's all good. It's all good. I'm used to it. No problem.
I think so. You were asking me.
So we were talking about giving tips. What tips would you give anyone listening who desires to start making healthy choices and working out?
Yeah, so I think that would be the main thing for me is just telling people, obviously, to not quit. You know what I mean, and to take little steps, because the bottom line is if you give yourself a hard time if you make a mistake, and then you won't finish with it. You know what I mean? And I always tell people start small, because sometimes it's when you go, I'm going to work out 5 times a week and I'm going to do a new diet every day. It's a lot to add yourself. And then if you don't give yourself the win of, you know what, I added this, or start off with going, you know what, I'm going to drink 6 bottles of water every day. I'm going to cut out the soda, and I'm going to cut out this, and I'm going to focus on waters, and then start to add this. Then it gives you the wins, and you start to go, oh, I see a difference. Because when you start to see a difference, I know a lot of times after that, then it really makes you go, oh, this is working. And I also always tell people to give themselves a free day. You know, I know for myself, when I do meal prep, I'll meal prep, and then I'll allow myself to have a free day. And my biggest tip I tell people is, if you go, you know what, I'm going to have that free day, I'm going to have dessert or ice cream or some kind of thing, get it outside. Don't get it and bring it back to your house. Because if you buy it and fill your fridge with junk, it's going to be there. So I'm like, you want to go out for a treat? Go out for the treat. It's out there, and you come back home and it's not in your house.
Yes, that's great advice. That's great advice. And if we could get you a little bit in focus, I think the connection is a little.
Is it working now?
Yeah.
Better?
Yes, better.
All right,
All right, so
hopefully.
my next question is, tell us what's keeping you busy lately. Are there any projects coming up and that you can probably share with us? And if there are some that you're not supposed to share, don't do it. But what, because I know that with celebrities, sometimes you have something down, something working in down the line, but you're not supposed to share.
Yeah.
And so just let us know what's going on that you can share. I know you shared about Dance It Out, but what else do you have coming that we should be looking for?
So absolutely. So there's a few things, a couple things I cannot share, but some cool stuff that's going on, theater world and different things that I'm doing. But the stuff I can share is right now, one of them that I love so absolutely much is I'm at a channel. I'm the creative director for Talent Recap, and Talent Recap partners with American Idol, America's Got Talent, all those different shows, and we're like the ESPN of talent shows. And for that channel, we have a new show coming out. I don't know if you've ever heard of Cheryl Porter. She's an incredible vocal coach. She's a viral vocal coach. You've probably seen her everywhere on TikTok and Instagram. We have a show with her that's coming out soon. We have a bunch of new shows happening.
It went out. I couldn't hear the name. Who was it? Who is it?
Her name is Cheryl Porter. She's a very famous vocal coach that's all over Instagram and TikTok. And we have a show coming out here, but also a whole new season of shows here at Talent Recap that I'm the creative director for. So I'm excited to have that because it's an absolute wonderful channel, wonderful. We have a bunch of great hosts and staff here. And so that's one of the things I'm working on. And then another thing I'm working on with a company that I can't give you all the details, but I'm excited about is it's a company that deals with families that have special abilities. And we are designing their whole online platform and creating workouts for people and of all different levels of abilities and, for seniors and for kids and for everything. And it's one of the most, I would say, rewarding, incredible things I've ever done. And that is something that I'm really excited about because we start, really building the content for the site, which will be in February. And then we'll be traveling the country, going to different schools and colleges and places, getting people moving of all different levels of abilities. Because normally when you do a class like my class or most classes in gyms, you separate people who are 50 and above, people who are in wheelchairs, and this is something that is incorporating everybody. And I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Yes. Awesome. That's exciting. I can't wait to see it all come to fruition. That's awesome.
Thank you.
My next question is, tell us wait a second. When it comes to accomplishing our goals, some people prefer vision boards, others like myself like lists. How do you keep track of your goals?
Oh, for me, it's so funny. I do lists too. I'm a big list person because I know I know some people like the boards, but for me, I kind of like to have a list so I can cross off things and be like, I got here, I got this. And now what I learned to do at my age now is I learned to go from, I used to make lists and then not like the actions of how to get there. And so what I'll do is I'll be like, this is my ultimate goal. And then I'm like, how am I going to get there? What things do I need to do? Because the moment you do that, then it's like going, okay, this one's done. You're doing the little hurdles all the way up and then you finish that main task. And so I love to create lists like that have the steps with the list.
Yes. Awesome. I love that. And I'm a list person, like I said, so I can relate to that. And then my next question is, what are your tips for incorporating healthy living into our daily lives? I know you touched on it earlier, but what are your tips in incorporating healthy living into our daily lives?
So I would just say, for me, to incorporate healthy living in your daily life is to find something that you love to do. I know a lot of times when it's, when people want, like Oprah as an example, when she first did, she had my dad on her show for 5 days. And I remember she did it, but on the sixth day, she was like, this is too hard for me, I quit. And I was like, oh, who gets her? And that's what made me start to go, wait a minute, you got to find things that you enjoy. I genuinely enjoy dancing. That's why I make TikToks and things and I'm dancing every day because I genuinely love it. So I say one of the strongest ways to keep it so it's consistent in your life is to find something that you genuinely love and that you're smiling when you do it. When I first created it out, people were always like, dancing is not a workout. And I was like, why? I'm sweating the same way I sweat if I'm doing karate or running. I'm just smiling. That's the only difference. You know what I mean? And so I say find something that's fun, that you can incorporate into your daily life. Find, and then also make it a habit. So it's the way you brush your teeth every morning. Go, I do this, I do this, I do this, and give yourself a reward when you do it.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Awesome, awesome. And then I'm going to give you one more question, and then I will go to the questions that are that have been placed in the question box. So, if you could leave us with one important advice.
You have an incredible Eric the Trainer is on. He's awesome right there.
Oh, wow. That's
Super
awesome.
talented, super celebrity. He does great things. I miss you, Eric. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's good. That's good. It's good to give shout outs. And then they're here supporting you. So that's awesome. So if you could leave us with one important advice, one important, very important advice, what would it be?
Gosh, I think my biggest one would tell people, I know it's cliche when people go, don't give up. But I think that's it. I think you have to learn in your life how to pivot. And if you have a goal, to be able to go, you know what, it didn't work through this door. Instead of me just going, I give up, I'm done, going, no, I'm going to go through this door. And then to create doors. Because for me, I can tell you, I've had so many stop, this thing where you begin and then it doesn't work out. And you got to figure out what is your next step. And so I would say the biggest thing is, no matter what goal you have, do not stop. Just if it means if you get 50 million no's, go until you get the one yes. And just keep going, because for me, it's the biggest thing. I can tell you, I've had times where it's looked like it was the absolute worst. Even when I was on Shark Tank, I filmed, people don't know this, but they filmed probably 100 companies, and only 35 companies make it onto Shark Tank. And so I filmed, even if you get a deal, they tell you, you may not make an episode. They're like, we're filming you, you got a deal, but you only get your deal if you make an episode. And so as an example, I got on the show, I got a deal, I was not allowed to tell anybody, but then all of a sudden they called me and they're like, sorry, you didn't make an episode. And so I was like, oh my God. And so inside, give up, you want to be, you're so upset. And then I was like, you know what, it's going to work out the way it's supposed to work out. And then all of a sudden I got a call and they were like, the network ordered one extra episode and you're on. And so it was just one of those things, and that was almost 4 months later. So that's why I'm like, and that was just that one thing. So it again, I've had stuff like that happen all the time. And so what I've learned to do is like not give up, no matter how bleak, no matter how bad it seems, to go, okay, well, then I'm going to try this way. I'm going to try this way. Just keep pivoting until you get to the goal that you want to get to.
Yes. Awesome. Awesome. I love that. And that is what's going to be on the reel that I'm going to put on all social media platforms, including TikTok. So that was awesome. Now I'm going to go to the questions now.
All right.
And start with the first question. So, okay, my contacts are really wreaking havoc with me today. So please ask him to help us stop his cousin Sherika Blanks, who is I did not. Okay, I don't know if we can.
I don't know who that is. I'm like.
Okay, so here's another question. Where on the East Coast would they find your classes?
So right now you can go to danceitout.com to find the classes, but I know for me, I teach in Greenwich, Connecticut. I also teach some classes in New York City, and I have other teachers that teach all around the East Coast, so you can find them there if you just search Dance It Out. There's different teachers that teach everywhere. And then I'm also online. If you find my app, Dance It Out is in the App Store, and I teach on that. I'm starting to teach live on that next week.
Awesome, awesome. And I'm sure your classes are packed because they want to come to the man. So I'm sure your classes are packed.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Okay. All right. We have another question. Now, this young man is my nephew, and he is fit. So at one point, did you know that this would be what you would be doing for the rest of your life?
Yeah, I could say that. It was so funny because I was always performing, because I do so many things. I perform, I direct, and this is a thing that always felt like it just came so easy and natural. It was like what I love doing because of my dad's background, and then dancing because I love dancing. And the moment I started hearing stories like that, I knew this is always going to be a part of me. I don't care if I become a huge actor or this or a director, I'm always going to keep doing the dancing thing because I know how to utilize it, that it can take away the intimidation of dance for other people. And so I knew I want to do this forever. You know what I mean? So I pretty much knew, I would say I was like probably 16 years old, I knew. And I kind of went away from it, even though I knew it was like, I know this is where I like thrive. And then after that, I just kind of focused on it.
Yes, that's awesome, because if your passion is also your job, you'll never get tired of it. You will always want to wake up and go do it. And that's the way I feel with my fitness and just connecting with people. I'm so passionate about it. So I'm up and I want to do that. So I can definitely.
Hard when you're tired or you don't feel well, but the moment you get in there and you start moving and you see people's smiles, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, I'm good, you know?
Yes, absolutely. And let me see if we have one more question that I can pull up here.
So that's your nephew, you said?
Yes, that was my nephew.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And so, yes, that is it. I'm going to give you a rapid fire question. This is kind of like fun rapid fire. So, coffee or tea?
Coffee or tea? Oh, God. I'm kind of neither. I drink coffee to wake up, but I don't love the taste.
Okay, got it. So, winter, spring, summer, or fall?
I am a fall person because I love to see the leaves change.
Yes, yes. Okay, you're traveling. Are you driving or flying?
Oh, God, I like both, but I want to fly because I want to go everywhere around the world. So I want to fly.
Yes. Yes, awesome, awesome. And you're listening to music. Is it R&B, jazz, or rock?
So I'm an every kind of music person. I'm from rock, R&B to Broadway to soul to like you would listen to my music and be like, he's so weird. I like Bollywood music. I mean, I'm just all over the place with music.
And that's the end of my rapid fire. Billy Blank Jr., thank you so much. I'm sorry.
You.
Oh, okay. Let's have it.
Okay, can I ask you them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's silly ones. First one is, would you step on a roach barefoot for $10,000?
No. No.
Okay. Now, would you pull the wings off a butterfly for $10,000?
Oh, no.
So you know what's so funny is most people say yes to the roach because it's ugly and no to the butterfly. Those are silly ones. But for you, what about you? Are you a flyer or do you like to drive?
You know, when I was younger, I would drive with my kids. But now that I'm older, get me there as fast as possible so I can enjoy the time there. Yeah. That's how I am now. It's yeah. So absolutely. And I did not ask you anything about your dad because this is your interview.
Oh, you definitely can. No, please, any questions? What do you want to ask about? Go ahead.
No, I mean, I just said I didn't because this was your interview.
Oh, no, I don't mind. I love my dad. My dad is a big part of my life, and my dad inspired me to do what it is that I do. You know what I mean? And he's still doing great things. When I see my dad, like, it's so cool because we just did an event together called Battle of the Billies, and he taught and I taught. It's like a boxing match where we both teach our different programs. And he's doing great things. He's right now in the new Charlie Puth music video, which is really cool.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and I see him on commercials, and he's really, he's got a lot going on too. Yeah, so that's awesome.
And he makes me proud because, like, you know, we filmed for my MoveTube channel together, and it was so great having him come in because he's just a pro. He comes in, he knows what he's doing, and it's so cool to kind of now be different ages and to work with him finally. You know what I mean? It's cool.
Yes. Now, what about your son? You mentioned in the bio that was your greatest accomplishment. How old is he? Yeah.
My son right now is 17. He's about to be 18 in 2.5 weeks, which is crazy. And yeah, he just got into the college he wanted to go to, which I'm so excited. You know, he's my life. My son is, when I talk about him, I could just instantly turn into tears of like a puddle of tears down here because He's my everything. He does dance. He can sing, but it's funny. He doesn't make that his focus because my ex-wife, his mom, is a phenomenal singer, Broadway singer, and he's like, well, I want to do that, but he's actually a good singer. And then he also dances, and so he kind of does that for fun, but he wants to go into social work and help change lives of kids that are in foster care and stuff like that, and has an incredible heart. And so, and he makes me really proud. You know, he works really hard in school and all the different stuff that he does. And so it is, when I tell you, like, he's my everything, that's my everything. His name's Elijah.
Yes. Oh, that's wonderful. I expected you to say he was like preteen. So
Oh, no.
that's excellent. That is excellent. All right.
Yeah,
I see one more question, and then I'm going to honor your time. Let's see here. Okay. So this question, let's see. Did it come up? I saw it, but it didn't pop up.
I have 10 more minutes, so you're good.
All right. The question was, what's your favorite style of dance? It didn't come up. It didn't pop up, but that's what he asked. What's your favorite style of dance?
Oh gosh, my favorite style of dance, I would say it's between two. It would be, I love doing hip hop, but I also love samba. I don't know, randomly samba is something that I just love. I have like this inner Brazilian in me that loves to do samba. So I would say I love that. But again, Dance It Out is what's cool about my program, Dance It Out, is it's all different styles. So in one class, you always get at least 3 styles. Come in, and I'll give you hip hop, and you could do country line dance, and you might do salsa. And then the next time you come in, I flip it up, and you'll do Broadway, you'll do, you know, some Motown, and it's constantly changing. So that way, I do that to keep people bored, but also to give them the variety, because I feel like a lot of times, if you do the same thing every class, you start to get to the place where you're like, okay, I'm bored. And Dance It Out, you don't really ever get bored.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Billy Blanks Jr., thank you so much. This has been a pleasure. I have enjoyed listening to everything that you have going on that's coming down the pike. And it's been a pleasure meeting you. And we should do this again sometime in the future when everything has come to fruition. We need to do this again, schedule a time and bring you on.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. I'll let you know when everything's going, and I would love to do it again anytime, okay?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And thank you everybody in the chat, everybody that's watching this on the replay. Definitely check Dance It Out. Check out the app, go online, and find out all about where the